Okay, in this video, we're going to be talking about the setup of Podio Powerhouse before you hit go on your marketing, before you start funneling leads in here, what you have to do to get set up for success. So if you're at this step, I'm assuming that you already filled out the form that gave me, it was a Google form, it gave me all of your acquisition company info. I use that to create a individual specific configuration file for your business in your Podio system. So I pre-filled your address, your contact info, all that stuff, and I set up your account specific to your business in the configuration app here and in the back end in the coding. So that will be all set. All you have to do from that is go into your organization, go down to your acquisitions workspace, and then go to configuration. I need you to confirm the details of what I put in here. So hop into, maybe I went a little fast there, configuration, and then you're just gonna have one configuration file here for your company. And I need you to verify this info. Your acquisition company name, this appears on contracts, this appears on outbound emails and texts for compliance. Verify that because sellers will be seeing that. Verify your address, again, that will be used on contracts, your company phone, your company email, etc. for contact details. Now, role settings, what this does. In seller leads, if we back out and we look at the seller leads app here, the roles that you see in the configuration here directly affect who's going to get automated tasks in various apps throughout the workflow. So the acquisition agent is going to get the more granular day-to-day. So if a seller responds to an outbound text or email, the agent's going to get a ping that they need to follow up and, respond to them and carry the torch a little bit. They get the more granular tasks. So whoever that is, whether it's a VA on your team, an assistant, anybody, that's who the agent would be. The acquisition manager ideally would be the business owner, or if you have an acquisition manager, that would be them. They're going to review the property details and the numbers before offers are pushed. You're just going to be like the kind of high level supervisor of what's going on in all the workspaces, and they get tasks related to those things. Marketing manager, they are going to be tasked with managing your campaigns in Podio here, entering budget details, and they will be the person assigned tasks related to your marketing. Once we get to the walkthrough side of things, once you have that inspection period window and you're walking through the house, the acquisition inspector that you place here is going to be the person that gets pinged to walk through the house and inspect it. Sometimes it'll be you, sometimes it'll be a third-party inspector, but you can add them in and it'll automatically task them to go walk through these houses when the time comes and you push the button. So that's what that is. Accounting settings. These are defaults for our area in the Midwest. They're great starting numbers for $100,000 to $300,000 houses. Some of you guys are in higher priced markets like California or the East Coast or Florida, etc. So you may have to tweak these depending on what makes sense in your individual business. But let's go through each of these and talk about them a little bit. If you click on them, you can see there is a little yellow pop-up box that kind of explains what it is. So what is your desired profit on deals for quick statistics? Quick statistics in a seller lead, once it comes in and you have the info filled in, quick statistics will populate with what you should offer on a house automatically. So it's going to look at these numbers you have filled in the back end here, and that's how it's going to calculate that number to give you some rough quick offer amounts, and just to make sure, it's like a double check almost, to make sure you ran your numbers right, and just like a backstop to fall onto. So desired profit for deals, if you're flipping, this would be 20 to 30% profit because most people buy at 70% of ARV. If you're just strictly wholesaling, you can have this lower, you can have this at 10%, but I put it at 20% by using 0.2 right there. Miscellaneous costs for quick stats. So again, these two boxes right here are just affecting your quick stats and seller leads. Miscellaneous cost percentages, just to quickly factor attorney fees, real estate commissions, financing interest that apply to your deals, normally 10%. Again, you can fluctuate this up and down depending on your area and if you know those numbers. If not, 10% is a good baseline to keep that at for those hidden costs in your real estate deals, agent commissions, etc. Average front-end closing costs. So on your HUDs, you will see your closing costs. If you have an average that you'd like to put in there, put that in. Your back closing costs, you can put those in also. Loan origination fees, punch those in. Flat sales commissions. So if you have an acquisitions guy that every time you buy a house and close on it, you have to pay him a flat fee. That's how our acquisition system works. Every house we successfully close, we pay our acquisition guy $1,000. You can put that in here. Every closed deal, if you have to pay a percentage, you can affect that right here. If you don't use one of these options, just put a 0 in there and that will blank out that in the calculations. So percentage and flat, both options there in your calculations. Average management overhead costs. So this is a per deal basis. If you're carrying a property for 45 to 75 days, estimate what your time is worth in the deal. Don't have to get super granular, but with our staff, we got 30 people involved in a deal. We average our overhead costs, employees, building, vehicles, blah, blah, blah. In one deal, we're going to spend $5,000 in overhead costs per deal. So you can punch in that number. It's probably going to be lower than $5,000 for you. If not, leave it alone. But anywhere, $2,000 to $3,000 to $5,000 is a good baseline to start with. Average 75-day holding cost for your average property. So if you're holding a property, how much does it cost to carry that mortgage, carry that interest, etc. for 75 days? 75 days should be like your average holding time for your extremities that go longer and your shorter ones that close faster. But 75 days, you always want to shoot for more than you expect on timelines. So what is your 75-day holding costs? 75-day insurance costs, 75-day maintenance, if you have any. This is normally a pretty low number. Average marketing cost per deal. Just figuring, quick stat, how much does it cost to get a deal under contract? As you start using Podio, your campaigns app will tell you this number exactly, but just a quick average, $50 is a good baseline to start with. Average material cost, this is for a quick rehab estimate. Average material cost per square foot, we vary from $3 to $7 per square foot. Our business is $3.73 per square foot for a renovation number. So I put 5 in there because some people get material for retail prices and stuff like that, but you can tweak this if you know that and have that in your budget estimates. Click send phone number. Disregard that. This is an old field that I will be deleting, so no need to look at that. Acquisition company logo. So again, going back to that walkthrough sheet app I talked about. When you're in that inspection period window and you're doing your walkthrough sheet, you're going to have a logo that's going to pop up on your documents you create. Because when you hit go on that, once you have all your numbers in the system, it's going to spit out a PDF document that you're going to hand to lenders and your private money guys and whoever's interested in your deal, etc. You can hand it to other wholesalers or your cash buyers like that. If you want your logo on there, you can fill this in. If you don't want your logo on there, X this out. The only thing I can say about this is your logo has to be pretty small. So go to a site called pickresize.com. You can see it down here. Upload your logo to pickresize.com and make it small. Make it so it's about 50 pixels high. There's some options on Pick Resize and it'll tell you exactly how many pixels your logo is. Make it 50 pixels high by however wide it is, and then it'll look good and formatted correctly on your PDF documents. Acquisition budget email recipients. This is who, once you ran all your numbers in your walkthrough sheets and you want to push them back to your team so they can review what a deal looks like and they can decide if you want to, continue to close or cancel the deal. Anyone involved in that process of reviewing deals and making the final go ahead on them is added to this acquisition budget email recipients field. That's just who's going to be copied on that email. And then down here, the only other thing you'll see is tasks won't be used in this application. Files won't be used in this application unless you want to store some company files in here, like your operating agreement, your LLC files, just like, high level company stuff you want to store here. This is a safe place to store it. Otherwise, the main thing is related items. So this is a global total count of everything in your Podio system. So since it's a test space, I don't have that many, but I can see all of my marketing campaigns. I can see every single offer I ever made. I can see every single contract I ever written, walkthrough sheets, seller leads, etc. You can see the list goes on and on for each application and every single item in my Podio space. While we're on the topic of looking through everything in Podio, remember that there's a search field up here. You can either click on the little search up there or press S on your keyboard, and you can search your entire Podio organization for whatever you want. So say you get a phone call and it's from 123 Main Street. All you gotta do, punch in 123, and you can see if you have that lead already in your system. Give that a second to load. I'm gonna look down here and see if I have an address. I do have a 123 Main Street in there. So right now, since I'm in the configuration app, it's searching in configuration, but if you want to search globally, you can search globally, and you will see anything related to 123 Main Street. It's pulling in a lot of other company data right here, but you can show all results to find exactly what you're looking for in your Podio system. That's about it for the configuration app and getting started. Let's back out and see if there's anything else I want to cover before we wrap up here. And besides that, for configuration, everything else should be good to go with Podio. I would have gave you an email that is going to walk you through creating a fake seller lead and pushing that through the workflow. So I'm going to touch on that in the next video here, and I'll see you in the next clip.